I'm thinking of a different guy. I'm thinking of the guy who fought Nick Diaz. He was the first guy to stop Nick Diaz, and then he was on.
His name was Jeremy, but I don't think it was Williams.
Can you?
I think it was Jeremy Williams.
What?
Nick's talked about him, and I didn't.
Is that his name?
I couldn't picture him. But yeah, I believe it's Jeremy Williams.
The season of The Ultimate Fighter that Nick Diaz was on.
I think
that Jeremy Jones,
Jackson.
Jeremy Jackson.
Jeremy Jackson. That's right.
Was it Nate Diaz? Nate Diaz's year?
Nick.
It wasn't Nick. No, Nick fought him.
It was
but Nick
fought
wasn't
him.
on The Ultimate Fighter. Nate was on The Ultimate Fighter.
Nate was on The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
I forget.
But was he on?
It
with
was
Nate?
no. It was in the UFC. It was just in the UFC. Jeremy was on the Ultimate Fighter.
thinking about the guy
But
that-
Nick fought him
wasn't.
in the UFC. But Nick had fought him before.
Right.
Oh, this is it. This is the fight. Nick Diaz versus Jeremy Jackson at IFC Warriors Challenge 18. Wow, what year was that? Play that shit.
That was his claim to fame on the show, that him and Nick Diaz had that beef.
Right. Jeremy Jackson. That's who it is. Jeremy Jackson had nasty hands, man. He was a really good boxer.
Yeah, I asked Nick one time. Who was the hardest to ever hit him, and he said he didn't say who hit him the hardest. He just said that Jeremy Jackson hit hard as fuck.
See, if you watch like his striking here, he was good, man.
Yeah, he was a
good.
clean boxer.
And they were both super young. I think Nick was 18, if I remember right. He was close to it at least. I think they were both pretty young here, man. But and then Nick went on to. I think Nick beat him by submission and beat him by decision. Did he fight him 3 times?
I think they had a trilogy. I think Nick won them all, though.
No, I don't. I think Jeremy stopped him.
Huh.
I think he stopped him in this fight. I think this was the first fight that Nick ever lost. I think this is actually the only time that Nick had ever been stopped. Man, I had heard some crazy rumor that I'd hoped was true, that they were going to try to set up Nick versus Conor. I'm like, my God, that would break the world. Do you know how like insane the hype would be for a Nick Diaz versus Conor McGregor fight? I mean, can you even imagine how crazy that would be?
So good.
That would be like
It'd
the
be so
sequel
good.
to
Oh my
Nick and
God,
Conor.
yeah.
A much better, bigger
Oh my God.
Avengers movie or
Could you
something.
imagine if they do that? I mean, look, the thing is, though, Nick is never making 155 again. He's just not. He's way too big.
He could do it. He just
you think he
wouldn't.
could do it?
He could absolutely do it. He's not that big.
Oh, man, he
not that
looks,
big.
I mean, he doesn't look small. I mean, he's going to have to lose a
Nah,
significant
he's only
amount
made
of body
160.
weight.
I don't think he's ever made 55.
maybe not
He's 160.
55.
I think he fought
You're right.
55 at the
You're
UFC.
right.
I think he fought 55 against Diego Sanchez.
Yeah.
I think.
Nate?
I think
No.
he could, and
Nick.
he'd say
Nick.
he could,
Nick.
but I don't think he would.
I don't think Nick has ever fought at 55. Really?
Yes, yeah, Nick
Yeah.
fought at 55.
Really?
Yeah. Nick fought at 55. I believe he fought Gomi at 55. Or did he fight him at 60?
He fought Gomi at 60.
60.
That was Pride Rules.
What a fight that was.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That was crazy. That was when Gomi was Gomi, too. Gomi was just knocking dudes dead. And Nick took some bombs. He had that big-ass cut on his cheek, and he locked up that Gogo Plata.
He fought a lot of when we were training for the Anderson fight. I was looking over his record. He's fought a lot of hitters like in their like fucking prime when they were just knocking the fuck out of people. They were like, okay, let's match him up. That was Nick's opponent.
Do you remember when Nick knocked out Robbie Lawler?
So we were in the same locker room that night, Nick and I, and he was hitting pads with his coach, and he was he was being Nick. He was back there hitting pads. This is early when he was boxing, so his boxing has gotten much better over time. But he was hitting pads. It didn't look awesome, and he was just, I'm gonna knock this motherfucker out. Yeah, that's right. Just pumping himself up in the back, talking about how he's gonna knock Robbie out and do all this shit. And I was just like, he ain't knocking out nothing, not with those punches. And then he went out there and knocked him out with a jab.
Well, it was kind of like a little like a hook.
Yeah.
Like a short, long hook.
Yeah, with the lead. Yeah, well, so yeah, short, long hook with the lead.
Well, yeah,
hand.
it was like a straight arm, but it was like a little pop to it.
he just, I was taken aback.
Dude, he was talking so much shit before that fight. To this day, I've said that was one of the most interesting things that I've seen as a commentator. is like there's reactions that people have to certain things, and sometimes it's psychological shit.
Yeah.
Like sometimes there's these crazy moments where people, like Ronda Rousey got in Holly Holm's face and it was like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? Like there's moments where you see in fights where you can. Don't you feel like that? There's.
Yeah, there are times when shit like that happens where you just see that someone you see it. You see who they really are for a split second.
But you see these. There's these weird moments when you see someone affected by shit talking. And Nick got into the cage with Robbie Lawler, and he starts going, "Stockton, motherfucker! Stockton, motherfucker!" And Robbie Lawler's like, "What is going on here?" Because Robbie's like a pretty mellow dude. Like Robbie's super violent, and a lot of people think he's the boogeyman. Like people are scared of Robbie because he's so violent. I mean, he's a incredibly aggressive fighter. Bad motherfucker, right? But you could see Robbie was like, what is going on here? Like, this dude is yelling, "Stockton, motherfucker," and 209, bitch.
I never knew that.
And then he's standing in front of him. He's going, "What, bitch? What, bitch? What you gonna do, bitch? What you gonna do, bitch?" And he's like talking all this crazy shit to him while he's hitting him. And you could see like the effect it was happening. Like you could see Nick. They were both, okay, look at the age there. Nick was only 20. Man, people forget how fucking young he was when he was fighting at a really high. Look how beautiful Bruce Buffer is. Like he went into a time machine. And Nick came out, and from the moment the fight started, he was just talking mad shit. He's pretty yoked, man. He had that one giant advantage. Not just like being tough and being crazy, like those were good. He had a real good ground game that people would sleep on. That was big too. But his fucking pace, man. His endurance. His endurance is insane.
And his pace is constant. It never breaks.
Yeah. There's no rest. And it's incredible how quickly it would sap guys. Well, you could see it just drain them.
It's like, I think like where I was at 20, like what I was into at 20, and like at 20 he's that kid that was on like the cross country team and the fucking swim team in the summertime, and him and his brother go mountain biking all day long as kids,
Yeah.
And he's fighting at that high level. Impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, man. His extreme endurance and his participation in triathlete events, and he's done Ironmans, I think, and I think he corrected me. I said on a podcast once that he had swam back and forth from Alcatraz twice. He said 5 times. He's done it 5 times. Dude.
I swear he was making fun of Nate. I swear to God he was making fun of Nate like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. We were talking about this, and he's like, Nate's never done never done Alcatraz. I've done it like 4 times, 5 times.
Look, he's talking to him. He's like, "What, bitch? What, bitch?" He's like, Nate's never done it, so he's a pussy because he never swam
some
from
shit
Alcatraz.
like that. He was just,
dude, that is shark-infested water. That is like
That's what I'm thinking.
legitimately 100% shark-infested water. You're not just swimming. You're swimming through the habitat of one of the great monsters of Earth. Look, he just clipped him with the right hand there. Look at this. This was such an interesting fight, man. It was such an interesting fight because I thought of Nick before this fight as really a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
I didn't think of him as a striker.
That same here. That's why I was thinking when he said he was going to knock this motherfucker out. I was like...
Well, he started getting really good at boxing when he went over to Strikeforce. The Strikeforce version of Nick Diaz was like some of the best boxing. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't he at Elite XC, too?
Yep.
yeah.
God damn. See, that's the fight. If I was the guy with the cash, listen, guys, let's just do this. Conor likes fighting at 170. Guess who else likes fighting at 170? Nick fucking Diaz. Come on. But I mean, maybe Nate would get pissed. His brother stepping in and fighting him.
Nah, they ain't. They seem like they're one and the same. They're symbiotic, man.
But do you think like here, like this is like there's a shot.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. Show that again. There's a short right hook there that stung him. This is it's a fun time capsule, right? To go back and watch fights from that long ago.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm working. Here it comes.
Yeah. See, he had stung him with a punch before that, before he circled into that.
How he goes after him.
Yeah. Wow. That was the birth of Nick Diaz in the UFC, really. That was where people got excited about him.
I rolled with Nate for the first time during that fight week.
Oh, yeah?
Nate was there with Nick. I just remember it now. Nate was there with Nick. I went down. My team wasn't there for a while, and I went down to the workout room. I was just jumping rope, and Nick was like, "Hey man, that's all you're gonna do?" I was like, "Yeah, my team's not here yet." He's like, "You want someone to roll with?" My brother's here, so I roll with Nick. I roll with Nate, and he's really good. Then he was like 17. He's really good though.
Yeah, you don't see their ground game that often because they like to strike. Like the entire last fight with Conor was almost entirely stand-up fight. But when you see him, when he gets guys to the ground, like the way he went through Conor, that whole sequence of beating him up, taking his back, and then choking him,
Yep.
that was very sharp.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no room, there's no fat in there. There's no room in there.
Yeah, and you can see it. It was for him. It was flawless. It was he'd done that a million times
Yeah.
before. He has 10,000 hours of that. For
Yeah,
sure.
100%. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and there's really almost no substitute for that. But there's so many fucking good fights to be made now. I mean, nobody's even talking about Michael Johnson is going to fight Nurmagomedov. Michael Johnson's a bad motherfucker. Yeah. That's exciting.
So
That's exciting.
this is the first time when the UFC has put together a card, the 205 card, for me, like in my personal opinion, that when they hype it as the biggest card ever, I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, this is the biggest card ever, but there's like 2 or 3 good fights on it. Like 2 big fights. This card, every single fight on this card could main event a show.
Yeah.
Like
It really
whether
could.
it be a fight night or whatever, every fight on this card can main event a show.
It really could.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a nutty card. There's 3 world title fights, and there's so many great fights like the Nurmagomedov Johnson fight. Rashad is fighting Tim Kennedy. Jesus.
Cool fight.
There's a lot of good fights on that card.
Thiago Alves.
Yeah. Who's
At
Thiago fighting
55.
again?
He was supposed to fight Iaquinta. They changed it.
That's right. But who replaced Iaquinta?
I forget.
Here it is. Where is it? Where's Thiago Alves?
Jim Miller, that's right.
Oh, that's good too.
Yeah.
That might be just as good. That I hated hearing that though. That Al Iaquinta thing.
Yeah.
It was a bummer. You know? I mean, I don't know what the full story is. I don't know either. But I'm a fan of Iaquinta. He's a fun dude to watch.
There's a lot of guys out there. I mean, it's crazy because I feel this is the first generation of guys that have come up as MMA fighters the whole time, the whole way through. Like even Nate, being as young as he is, he was still a jiu-jitsu guy coming into this.
Yep.
You know, but there are these kids now that are fighting like Mirsad Bektik. I feel like Mirsad is one of those guys that he started training MMA. You know?
Yeah, and
That's
God, and when you're doing that, how important is it to find the right coach? The right coach is so valuable.
Yeah.
Because how many guys can give you that full sort of Faraz Zahabi, Matt Hume sort of experience where they've got black belt level jiu-jitsu, like real world-class striking. They really know what the fuck they're doing, and they understand the game deep, in and out.
Yeah.
There's only a small amount of those guys, and it's not a coincidence that like the great ones, like Demetrius. I mean, Demetrius gives up all of his credit to Matt Hume. You know, I mean, he's like, he found a guy who was a pioneer of the sport, who was a real high-level Muay Thai guy, real high-level black belt in jiu-jitsu, and competed at a real high level in Japan. Remember when he fought, who the fuck
Ken
did he
Shamrock?
fight? Yeah, but he fought Pat Miletich. Remember that? He stopped Pat Miletich in an MMA fight.
Yep.
Like
Was
Matt
that-
Hume in his day was a bad motherfucker. So it only made sense that he would also become a great coach. But how many of those guys are there like that? Like that's got that kind of Matt Hume type experience and understanding of the sport.
It's coming now
Now, right?
because of guys from my generation like Dean Thomas and Mike Brown.
Right. Yeah.
Josh Thompson's about to be retired. He's closer to retirement than some of these younger guys. These guys are shoot. There's so many guys now that are at that point, and this next generation of guys are they're not gonna have to go to a jiu-jitsu gym and then to a kickboxing place. You know, they're gonna have these coaches that know the game, that they're teaching them mixed martial arts and not teaching them individual parts of it.
Don't you think there's still going to be specialized coaches though
Yes.
for each individual thing?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because those guys from that generation know that hey, they're good at it all together, but there are still parts of it that their rating is not going to be 100.
Right.